Damn it, Garak snaps. Get the guests to safety. Use the secret passages. To your posts. Brace the barricades. Ready yourselves for a fight. The boredom drains from his eyes, replaced by fury and focus. Beoul, his bodyguard, moves that immense bulk with startling speed and squares up for battle. Hold the door, a guard shouts as he rushes in. No, you cut in, firm. Kill the lamps. Take positions by the windows. They'll come through there. Hit them once they're inside. The guards hesitate. Garak spurs them on with a nod. Do as he says. Soon the roar of the skirmish rolls closer like a storming sea. The door remains untouched. Then, all at once, 5 dark shapes slam into the windows. They move like wraiths, and glass bursts into knife-edged shards. The figures drop into the middle of the hall, exactly where you wanted them. For a heartbeat, they're wrong-footed. You seize the instant and strike to kill. A quick thrust sinks into the first man's flank. He collapses in a slick of blood. Across the room, Beoul needs a second attacker. He hacks in a brutal arc that the other slips. Only a feint. With a whip-quick twist, the mace reverses and catches him full on. The impact is heavy. The assassin is flung down like a rag. You doubt he'll rise. You regroup with your backs covered. This way, Garak shouts, pointing to a nearby door. You reach the next room at speed and bar it, but 2 new assailants slink in through that room's window, ready to strike. You react fast. This time the surprise isn't yours. The duel is even. He's quick, skilled, lethal, but not as much as you. You carve his wrist. His saber clatters to the floor. Then you drive your blade into his chest, putting your weight behind it, pinning him to the wall. Across the room, Beoul is anything but gentle. He locks a hand around his opponent's throat and hoists him like a doll until the struggle gutters out. At last, the enemies are down. Silence falls. You press near to the door. Beyond it, nothing. Perhaps the guards have thrown back the rest of the assault. A firm knock makes you start. You open with care, ready to spring if need be. It's the captain of the guard. He's clutching an arm and short of breath. The attack has been repelled, he reports. With the lamps relit, you take him what remains. Look, a guard exclaims. The assassin's bodies are crumbling fast into ash. Skin blackens, then flakes away. Clothing sloughs off in ribbons. In the end, nothing remains but dust. What you took for blood reveals itself in the light as a thick, pitch-black fluid that tries to a crust and powders before your eyes. One of the guards calls on his god for protection. What witchcraft is this? Beoul mutters. Garak doesn't answer. He watches, intent, the slow unmaking of their forms. Then he only says, take stock of the damage and bring more tea. Quickly, they search out cups left whole. The little table and cushions are set back in place. Fresh ewers and braziers are brought in. A semblance of normality after the storm. Do you know who sent them? You ask. That was no ordinary business. Guests or dark arts. Whoever it was, they're dangerous. Garak motions the guards away. I don't know exactly who they are, but I intend to find out. I have many enemies, some living, some dead. And these days even the dead can be dangerous. Garak goes on, sipping his tea. On that note, I couldn't help noticing your skills. He fixes you with a steady look, as if studying you. You know how an assassin moves, and you may be the first to stand up to my guards, let alone to Beoul. He moves like an insect, Beoul says, absent-minded. You can't tell if it's insult or praise, you merely nod. Since you help safeguard my person, I'll spare your life, and I'll make you an offer. I want to test a theory about who ordered the attack, and to do that, I need individuals of particular talents for a certain operation. And in return, I hold information you're after, perhaps more than you're ready to ask for. Help me, and it's yours. You weigh the proposal with care. I imagine this operation involves taking something, or someone, and demands a certain discretion. Likely, he concedes with a wry twist. I won't lie, it's dangerous, but you won't be alone. You'll accompany me and Beoul on the search. He's a fine warrior, but lacks the finesse needed for other, subtler hazards. I'll add that the mission itself, if successful, may give you many answers. You mull it over, tallying the pros and cons. You don't like working in company, least of all with people for whom your life counts for little. You've no doubt that if trouble comes, you'll be the piece sacrificed. You'd have to watch your back constantly. Even so, the prospect of a mysterious mission, dangerous or not, pricks at your curiosity. There may be something in it for you, and since it might help unravel the mystery of your own search, you feel you have no choice. I accept, you say. The light in Garak's eyes shifts, from tepid and listless to fever-bright, a mix of excitement and madness. Excellent, he explains. What you're about to hear you'll scarcely believe. But I've said enough for today. It's time to rest. Tomorrow morning we'll speak with clear heads. You wake from a restoring sleep in one of the palace rooms. Your host has given you a bed for the night in one of his finest chambers, out of generosity perhaps, or perhaps to keep you under watch. The room is sumptuous. The canopied bed is soft and vast, large enough for three, sheets and pillows sheathed in velvet. On the floor, intricate carpets catch the light pouring in through great arched windows. Day is well advanced. Two young women, one dressed in black and blue, the other in white and gold, enter without knocking and offer their company. You refuse, not without a twinge of regret. The mission demands your strength, and you don't yet fully trust your host. Soon after, the boy from last night appears. As they pass him, the women ruffle his hair, laughing. He wears a clean tunic stitched with Garak's house sigil and looks newly scrubbed. He brings fresh lemons and sets them in the chest by the bed. What's happened? You ask. Master Garak has done me the great honor of taking me on as one of his helpers. The pay's good, and there's food. And what of your ambitions to be a thief? You ask, amused. He grows thoughtful, then gives a crooked smile. Maybe I won't become a famous thief, but I might become a great adventurer, or captain of the guard. Now excuse me, I've got to run to the kitchens to finish my shift. Garak's gesture surprises you. Perhaps, after last night's assault, he needs new trustworthy hands, and a willing boy is better than an empty corridor. After a hot bath and a brief look out the window, you step into the hall. A page, already waiting, politely invites you to follow. He leads you into a broad chamber bright with torches. At its center looms a great circular table, buried under charts and venerable books. At last, says Garak, I hope you slept well, because what you hear today will be of the keenest interest. You advance slowly. Your gaze glides over maps, shelves, and exotically shaped objects, scattered everywhere. I'm all ears, you say. Garak lowers his voice to a whisper. What I'm about to tell you stays between us. No one else must know. You nod once. Years ago, when I was still young. Many years ago, Beoul mutters. Silence, Garak snaps. In any case, I came into possession of a singular, ancient document, the recovery of which cost the lives of several brave men and a great many coins. It speaks of an archaic lord who ruled before the city was born, perhaps before the old kingdoms saw the light. With near reverent care, he draws a scroll from a case. It's so worn you fear it might fall apart if handled roughly. They say he wielded extraordinary gifts. So great was his power to bend the wills of others that he could summon the dead to his service and make inanimate things move like puppets. No one ever knew the source of his power. Some spoke of sorcery, others of blasphemous pacts with unnameable beings. At the height of his dominion, the ancient lord vanished without a trace. No one knows why. Perhaps he was ensnared by his own deceits, or betrayed by a fatal love. Others swear the essence of his power never died, that it still lies dormant in the city's depths, among the great catacombs. Unfolding a broader map, he traces veins and tiers, Grimstone sits atop an immense underworld, level upon level, a city beneath the city, a labyrinth without end, deadly to the unprepared. Some tunnels are of recent construction, others belong to elder times, their origins long lost to the dark of history. Some passages have collapsed or been swallowed by water, others simply forgotten, waiting to be found again. I mean to explore one of these lost places. The ancient texts in my keeping point clearly to where that Lord's secret tomb may lie. You think back to last night, the assassins crumbling into dust without a trace. Garak's tale, incredible as it sounds, sheds the skin of legend, and yet you're not entirely convinced. Moreover, Garak adds, handling another scrap of parchment, it's said that this lord forged peculiar objects to shackle the wills of his followers. He hands you the sheet, upon it the drawing of a pendant. Your heart lurches. It is almost identical to the one you found. Your attention sharpens at once. Garak wasn't lying. This venture may truly help unravel the mystery, and he himself holds knowledge perhaps vital to your search. I see I have your attention, he says. You can say that, you reply. With renewed energy, you ready yourself for a mission that promises danger, yes, but opportunity as well. A step forward in the riddle that hounds you. For better or worse, the road leads beneath Grimstone, into the city's vast catacombs.